What is up, guys? We are here for round 3 with the list that you see on screen. We are currently 2-0, so we've got a strong start here. Felt like a good time to go ahead and get paired against Red Green Panza and take the unfortunate loss. Let's cross our fingers and hope that does not actually happen. That was just a joke. Don't punish me for saying it. Don't do it. But yeah, let's just go ahead and jump straight into the games, and we'll see what we can do from there. All right. Lost the die roll. Little sad, little sad. This hand, however, is quite nice. We get a turn 2 Explorer with some Titans to go along with it and a Dryad. So if we happen to find a bounce land, we'll be good here, or a Garen Brig as well would do it, since our Gemstone Mine will give us the additional green source. We can even pick up the Gemstone Mine with the Summer Growth Chamber to reset the counters, so I like this hand. I mean, it's not the most insane hand we've ever drawn, but... Ooh, playing against Prowess. Alright. Well, I guess we are just playing out this Gemstone Mine. And we did draw a bounce land, so we're going to be able to cast our Titan here. The question is how fast, because we could just be dead on, like, turn 3 here. I think a couple of the times I've played against the blue-red prowessy type decks, more often than not, I was just dead on turn 3, so we might be a little too late here, but we'll see. Another bounce land, not really the best. Let's go ahead and get this Explore down, and we'll just hope for the best. We'll put a Growth Chamber in, I suppose. Yeah, I think we're going to be a little too late here. On the play, this hand might have been good enough, but I feel like on the draw, we're probably pretty hard-pressed to win. We need to draw Engineered Explosives pretty much right now. Or they could have nothing and cast nothing, and, I mean, we might be able to win if that happens. We'll see. Okay, so... I think I'm going to want to get this Growth Chamber out there. So let's think about our mana situation. If we play Dryad, play Bounce Land, and play another land, then next turn we'll only have access to 5 lands in play. So if we can't play Titan, we'll still be able to trigger Valakut anyways, though. So that's probably fine. Because I was going to say if we can't play Titan, but we're not going to just naturally have the Valakut anyways. We also might need to set up for field. If our Dryad stays in play, which I don't think is highly likely, then we'll potentially be able to trigger field, but I think we just have to go ahead and play out bounce lands. We have Gemstone Mine to transmute Tireless West, so I guess I'm not super worried about having the double blue in play from playing a second Growth Chamber. That's what I was thinking about the whole time, in case you did not catch on, or in case I did not make it quite clear enough. I wanted to make sure that we have differently named lands, but I also wanted to be able to transmute Tireless West. But with Gemstone Mine, we don't have to worry about it, so... And now we can just play Stronghold and have Titan this upcoming turn, so... And we'll see. If they just have lands in hand, that's probably good for us. I think we do have to block here, sadly. Well, the other thing is, if we block and lose our Dryad, I'm not really sure how we're winning, because we could still just lose to a line that involves, like, several Lava Darts and stuff. They didn't do anything last time they attacked with all 3, they just passed with all their mana up, so that makes me more tempted to not block here, but... It feels real bad, but I kind of think we have to block. Because if we just play Titan and get 2 lands, we're only going to have 6 lands, so we can't trigger field. We'd be forced to block with the Titan, and potentially still just be dead. I'm going to choose not to block, in the hopes that they don't have anything. Lava Dart, so that's going to put us to 13, and that's going to be 9 damage here. So we're technically at 4 at the moment. We'll see if we should have blocked. I don't think that we realistically could have won without blocking, though. Stormwing Entity. Okay. Well, now we get to trigger Valakut and field. If we want to do that. Let's see. We would Valakut to kill the 2... to kill Stormwing and a Soul Scar. And we'd have blockers for the other 2. We would still be potentially dead to some burn spells, but I don't think we can do much about that. So yeah, let's go ahead and make this the line. We'll play our guy. Snap resolved. Our opponent seems to have F6 here, which is great news, which means they probably don't have anything to interact with this Valakut. So we know for sure that we're going to be able to kill this storming entity if they have nothing here. So that's good. We'll kill a Soul Scar as well. Not looking terrible here. Okay, well, we'll pass back. Do we attack? Kind of think that we do, actually. I guess if they have a third haste creature, then we can just block with a Titan, and we have a backup Titan anyways, so let's just go ahead and attack. They have to kill us from 4 here. They just need double burn spell, or I think we win, so yeah, we win. Okay, so I guess not blocking was the best line. I was really worried that we were going to get punished for that, but I guess there was nothing to worry about. So we want Balos and Explosives. We possibly want Disputes for Stormwing Entity, but that's about the only thing that it hits. On the other hand, Gust hits all of their haste creatures, and it hits like Metamorphose and light up the stage and that kind of thing. I think the Gust is probably going to be good enough. I don't know that Dismember is worth it, because paying 4 life is the same thing as just taking multiple hits from a creature anyways. I'm kind of not in love with Dismember. I'm not sure, though. See, that's the problem I've been having with Dismember recently, is, like, against decks like this, where they're aggressive, but they're also pressuring our life total with, like, burn spells and whatnot. Dismember seems like a liability. Like, it seems like we Dismember, and we are not dying to a creature, but then we just die to the other stuff that they have. Like, if they have multiple creatures, Dismember is bad, and if they have multiple burn spells, then Dismember is just bad. So I'm kind of tempted to not bring it in, but I could be wrong. Maybe I just don't want to have too many Dismembers in the deck. Like, I think 3 might be too much. It may not be worth having at all, though, to be honest. I'm going to try it without it and see how it goes. Let's see. They probably do have Bedlam Reveler. That's the card I was trying to think of. So Bajuka Bog might be good there. I mean, we're at 60 cards, actually, so we don't really need to cut anything else. Do we want to trim one Summoner's Pact anyways? I mean, I don't hate it. It's also possible that Tireless Tracker is not very good. Not really sure. I'm gonna submit it like this and see how it goes. I think we want to have the maximum threat density. This is one of those matchups where you just have to have a Primeval Titan to actually play. This hand's interesting. It's got an Engineered Explosives on 1 if we want it, but we can't blow it up on turn 2, which is kind of a problem. Although if we draw an untapped source, then we can, or an Amulet as well would allow us to do that, although we'd have to kill our own Amulet, which I might be willing to do in all honesty. Kind of a weird one, especially since we can pick up the Crumbling Vestige to have yet another quote-unquote untapped source, even without an Amulet. I kind of feel like this is going to be a keep, but it's a little bit close. Oh, they mulliganed as well, so. They do have a 1-drop. I think we're just going to go ahead and get this Explosives out. We could try to Stirrings for an Amulet, but we don't really have anything to play on turn 2 to follow it up with, so there's no real point in doing that. Let's just go ahead and get this Explosives into play, I think. We'll pass back. Okay, so, I mean, I thought about it in a Braid when I played the Explosives, but, I mean, it's not the worst deal. Like, now they have fewer creatures in play for, like, a potential combo turn. It's a shame that we can't tap this for a green to Ancient Stirrings before potentially picking up with a Gruul Turf, but I think we do need to go ahead and play out the Gruul Turf. That way we can play a tracker this upcoming turn. So, not saying that we necessarily need to do that, but and here's another 1-drop. Lava Dart. I'm not super worried about Lava Dart at the moment. Do I want to put this tracker in play? We could... Now, if we Stirrings into an Amulet and then played it, we would only have 2 mana available, so there's not much we can do there. We could also Summoner's Pact for an Azusa or a Dryad and get multiple land drops into play. If we were to pack for Azusa, we would play Crumbling Vestige, pack for Azusa, play it, play like Valakut or T-West, and then Sanctuary to have our second green source. We would be weak to potentially a land destruction effect. I don't know if they would play Molten Rain. And then we wouldn't really have any follow-up the turn after. I think it's going to be better. I feel like we need to get something into play. I don't know if I'd be willing to trade the tracker with one of these creatures or not, though. We'll see. All it would take is an additional 1 Lava Dart to kill this tracker as well, which I don't love. We don't really have anything else to do this turn. I think maybe packing for a Dryad might be the best play. I'm going to go for the Dryad line, I think. If we pack for a Dryad, then that'll leave us with only 1 mana available this upcoming turn. We could, like, Stirrings or something, but we'd be forced to block twice with the Dryad. And then if we just lose a Dryad, that's not great for us. I don't know how likely it is that we actually lose our Dryad, though. They would need literally any spell, because they could Lava Dart the Dryad and then cast a spell, and then whatever we block is going to kill the Dryad. I guess we're just casting Tracker as a roadblock. We can pack for an Azusa or a Dryad this upcoming turn. It's kind of weird, but... Manamorphose. Okay, so if we had gone for the Dryad blocking plan, then our Dryad would be dead. We're probably still priced into chump blocking, or they just abrade the tracker. Not great for us. So we're taking 8, 9 damage here. 10, 11, 12, 13. I think that's lethal. Let's see, 7 and 5, so that's 12, 13. Oh, no, maybe. We'll see, we'll see. Yeah, it was lethal. Okay. It doesn't matter what we did there, then. I guess if we played Dryad, we wouldn't necessarily be dead, because it doesn't die to the Abrade. What would we have drawn? Breeding Pool. Okay. Well, we were just a turn too slow there. Maybe being on the play this time will help. It's possible we do want Dismembers, actually. If they're going to be leaning very heavily on 1 or 2 Prowess creature draws. Summoner's Pact not looking its best there. Tracker neither, to be honest. Maybe I could go without trackers like this and just have Dismembers instead. If we had a Dismember there, we would have been in a bit better shape, I think. It's also possible that the Stirrings is not going to be the best. We don't really have a whole lot of time to cast it, and if we find it... I guess we could find explosives off of it and be able to blow up all the 1-drops, though. That might be worth it. Or find an Amulet or a Bounce Land or something. Yeah, I'll try it like this. I'm still not exactly sure how to sideboard here. I guess on the play we want Stirrings so that we can find an Amulet more consistently. Huh. This hand would be great if it had a Bounce Land. It does not. If we do find a Bounce Land, though, we can pick up Vesuva and then play Vesuva as a copy of Bounce Land and have access to 5 mana. So we still need to top deck Bounce Land and something else, but we do have some removal. We have a blocker in our Grazer, and we have some ramp. I guess if we don't find a Bounce Land specifically, though, if we find like any kind of regular land, this hand doesn't really function. I think we can do better on 6. This hand does look better, I think. We are going to be a turn late because all of our lands entering tapped here, but that's probably fine. We're going to go ahead and ship this Gust, I think, because we don't have the mana to cast it. And then I'm tempted to lead on Bog here, so if we draw like a Grazer or something, we could play it turn 2, like play Amulet into Garenbrig and then play Grazer, so Let's just try this. Probably gonna need to be saving up this, engineered explosives until we're playing it and cracking it in the same turn. Is it okay to give them the abrade target, by playing the amulet out? If we play the amulet out, we also are exposing the amulet to our own engineered explosives. I think we kinda have to do it, though. Yeah, we'll play out the amulet, and we're gonna go ahead and get one of these bounce lands out of the way, I think. That way we at least get some value out of this amulet. We could go ahead and play explosives on 1 here as well, actually, so that if they have an abrade, then they have to choose between which one they wanna hit. Let's do that. A little weird, but I think it's gonna be effective. Just the classic play an amulet, then play explosives on 1, threatening to blow up not only our own amulet, but our only amulet as well. We could top deck a second amulet. That wouldn't be particularly great for us, to be honest. At this point, we just want to top deck a Titan. If we top deck a Titan, though, at this point, we can't quite cast it. Because we have to play the Garenbrig and use it to cast Azusa, so we would only have 2 more plays of a bounce land. That's 4 mana, so looking a little awkward there. They might be staring at an abrade in their hand right now and not knowing what to do with it. That would be pretty good. I guess I should make my graveyard a little smaller, since our graveyard matters a lot less. I mean, if this is their line, I think blowing up explosives is gonna be pretty good for us. We are taking some damage here, but man, they're going all in, too. This is 9 damage, so they're sacrificing land to do this. That feels pretty good for us. So we do have a Titan. So I guess we're going to be playing out our Azusa, holding up engineered explosives while also making enough land drops to be able to cast Titan this upcoming turn. Seems fine. So here's Azusa. Here is Garenbrig, and then Sanctuary picking up Bog would allow us to still be able to cast Titan this upcoming turn, so I'm not sure how powerful our Titan is going to be, though, considering we don't have enough lands to trigger Feel the Dead. If we draw another land, then and we keep our Azusa in play, then we might be good, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to blocks and block the Soul Scar, and then see if they do anything before damage, because if we're just taking 1, it may not be necessary to blow up this explosives. They're gonna Lava Dart. Okay, well, we can yield to the Prowess triggers. They're Lava Darting us. Not really a surprise here. If they don't give us real cause to blow this explosives, then getting a Hasty Titan might be much better than blowing all the 1-drops here. Yeah, if this is their line, I think we have to blow the explosives. We can't afford to go down to 3 and die to a bolt, so this, I guess, will just have to be good enough. We still get to put a Titan into play, and we can pick up a Radiant Fountain, so I think it's just going to be worth it. We get to keep our Azusa as well, so land. Land. That's not a land. Is there a reason to bog their graveyard right now? I guess not. Go ahead and just play this guy out. It's probably just going to be Radiant Fountain and something. Maybe a Boros Garrison, perhaps? That doesn't seem awful. We already have Bog in hand, so doesn't seem like that's going to be necessary. We could also do a bounce land and pick up and replay Radiant Fountain. That seems like it might be more relevant than using Bajuka Bog here. Oh, actually, we can play Bog and Fountain because of our Azusa, so... I mean, yeah, I don't know if they can realistically beat that, so let's just go with that. And I guess we actually get to hold up Dismember here as well. And I don't think there's a reason to attack with Azusa. Okay, well, they're not gonna allow us to make that decision. Well, we are 3-0 now, so that's good news. I'm really glad that the gamble in game 1 about not blocking paid off. That might have been the difference between being able to win the match and losing the match, in all honesty. So I'm really glad that that worked out. I don't know, what do you think? Was that just a ballsy play that happened to work out, or do you think it was the right play? I don't know. I felt like at that point we couldn't win if we lost our Dryad in the first place. Because our Titan wasn't going to get us any triggers. We weren't going to be able to deal with their board, all that stuff. I felt like we couldn't play around them killing us that turn, and we just had to survive and keep our Dryad in play in order to, be able to do what we need to do to get to victory. So I personally feel like it was just the correct play, even though it seemed a little risky. But yeah, I mean that was a really good match though. Lots of important decisions, all that kind of thing. Still not sure whether it's right to bring in Dismember or not. We drew it at that last turn where it did not matter at all. So who knows? We also did lose the game where we put a Tireless Tracker into play. So maybe siding out the trackers and bringing in Dismembers against these Prowessy decks is going to be the right move. I, at one point in time, used to side out Azusa as well, because Azusa dies to things like Lightning Bolt and Lava Dart even. So maybe the same logic applies. Maybe we should be siding these three cards out. I don't know. Azusa does a lot of work though. Tracker doesn't do very much work if it just dies immediately, and realistically it's a 4-drop because we have to play it and be able to get value out of it with a land for the card to be worth playing in matchups like that, I think. So Azusa, on the other hand, you can slam it down on 3 mana and at the very least get one extra land drop out of it, and potentially 2 before it dies. It might even be able to chump block for you if they don't have the removal spell, and if they do have the removal spell, then you're gaining 3 life at the very least. So anyways, yeah, that's enough talking. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did. And I don't know, maybe we did learn something. I often say I hope you guys learned something as well, but maybe I learned something here, which is definitely the point of doing these videos. And if you feel like you've learned something or that you got some enjoyment out of it, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Support the channel. Let's see if we can get this channel to grow a little bit. Again, not that I particularly care how big the channel is. I'm mainly doing this for your information and for my information and just for enjoyment as well. I just like making these videos with Amulet. Eventually, when I'm able to get my hands on some 3 fairies and Jace the Mind Sculptors and Force Negations, I might start playing some blue-white control, but I don't have access to those cards at the moment, so maybe eventually, though, down the line. Alright, guys. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. This is Redface Menace, signing off.